Destination Newry, it's the morning programme. I'm Rowan Hand. I'm delighted to be your host for the next until 10:30 our time this morning. That's an hour and a quarter, an hour and 20 minutes or something like that. Jim Boylan, you're very welcome.
Thank
Jim
you,
Boylan
Rowan.
from Warrenpoint, former president of the Chamber of Trade and Commerce in Warrenpoint and strong man for the bridge. And this time last year, we thought we were gearing up to get the bridge. And so much so that we went down to you in Warrenpoint. We did a little mini documentary about it, interviewed all of the people, and then, of course, the awfulness happened and we didn't get the bridge. But now, if you're going from Warrenpoint to Newry, you will see at the site of the bridge, the proposed site, a new solid notice up and a poster, done properly and done solidly and done well, not going to go anywhere. It's there for the duration. With the outline of the bridge there,
Yep.
indicating that you're mustering your forces again, the bridge will go forward.
It will go forward, and I would like to thank the Warrenpoint Board and the Strabane Chamber of Commerce for pulling that sign up. It shows their support for their project. But after all this happened, the number of people that have come to say that this must happen and to keep going, and for the support to keep going, and for not to let the politicians say, see, the politicians are there to work for the people. And that's why it's called, since we first got it up 5 or 6 years ago when the European funding pulled out, it became the People's Bridge, because we went out and the people signed a petition en masse, and that has actually grown. And the feeling in Warrenpoint, I've never seen a feeling like it for a project to happen.
My worry, and I share it with you, is this thing was blown out of the water in two regards the last time. One, the politicians at Stormont who could have talked and should have talked didn't. Secondly, there was an almighty foul-up within Louth County Council in terms of the costings. They did the costings, they got the costings wrong. How do we know that a similar mistake will not occur again?
Well, hopefully it wasn't, but if I take your second point first,
Yeah.
where Louth County Council
Yeah.
got the costings wrong. The costing of every major project has been wrong.
Yeah,
And
but
has
not
been-
to the tune of 10, 12 million, Jim.
Some of them have been. Some of them have been, and you have to take in percentage if it's worked that way. There was new costings done up when the overrun of costings was seen to happen, and that still proves that the bridge was by far value for money for the costings.
But did the new costings justify the 12 million difference, whatever?
It did, yes.
So someone got the costings wrong. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
at the beginning.
There's no doubt about that. But what I'm saying to you, you go to any of the major projects, all the costings are over. Casement Parks, it's over. The Titanic Centre was way over budget. Giant's Causeway was way over budget. All of them are way over budget. There's one I can't think of lately that is also the same. The police and fire games, over budget by 200%. Not once, but twice.
You see, I come from a background of having worked for Gilbert Ash in Warrenpoint, having worked for Harry McMahon, and I did costings.
Yeah.
And costings at the time of taking off the bill of quantities, taking off the plans, creating the bill of quantities, and doing the sign-off. I understand exactly what you're saying, and I know you're right in what you're saying, but there is one area that is unquestionably in some doubt, and it's whatever happened with the original costings at the very beginning, that everything should have been built in. It's a simple enough exercise in quantity surveying to have got it right, and they got it wrong. So my hope is that it won't be got wrong the next time at that point, that all exigencies will be catered for, and that we'll go forward more successfully.
Yeah, I do agree with you there, but what I'm saying is, even with that overrun, it was feasible, it should have been done, It was a small amount of money by both governments.
But
And-
you had no
and-
friends in camp. The Stormont people didn't care.
Yeah,
At
but
the end of the day, the
when-
people who could have signed it off.
you know, you have to go to the old Abraham Lincoln philosophy of government. It's for the people and by the people. And that doesn't happen here. It's sad where politics is working.
Yeah.
And it was great last week to see the President of Ireland meeting the Queen and all that coming together. But the sad reality, here in these 6 counties, it's not happening.
You see,
It's not sure.
I was very surprised at Arlene Foster, who is responsible for tourism. And I'm coming back to this again because I've spoken about this publicly. I've written about it publicly. Arlene Foster, our tourism minister, she is committed to bringing more people into Northern Ireland. She's now talking about opening up the route again from Belfast to Toronto in Canada. That's a great priority for her. How can such a woman, with that priority, not have had one meeting about the bridge at Narrow Water in all of the 12 months before the decision was made?
And also, how did our First Minister not have a meeting? This is a new gateway into Northern Ireland, and the first gateway since the partition that will open up the whole island. And in former tourism, we in South Down have been let down so often.
Yeah.
We now have a fantastic mountain bike ride
That's right,
out in Australia.
World standard.
World standard. This is another gateway for that to happen, for people to come in. The Irish Open is going to go to Royal County Down.
And in 2016 up to Enniskillen, up to the Fermanagh. resort.
But take the Royal County Down one. This is another gateway for southern travellers, southern tourists to come. This is a major tourist project, as major as the Titanic Centre, as major as the Giant's Causeway, as major as anything in Belfast. But it's sad that a tourist minister doesn't see that. You know,
What's the strategy this time? You've learnt lessons from the past.
the strategy this time is the same as always, is to get it. It needs to happen, it must happen, and we've already made it an election issue this time, both in the European and the local elections. We've set up a new, are going to launch shortly, a new Facebook page, new Twitter page, and a new web page. And that will be asking all the candidates to say if they're in favour of the Narrow Water Bridge or not. That will give the electorate a chance to have their say. You see, the sad thing is, after, and we've told the Secretary of State this, and all the politicians, is after what happened last year, is there is an apathy in one point that people are not going out to vote at this election or in election in the future. And you can see that trend all over the north.
People have been disappointed.
Disappointed.
Big time.
But I think it's important that people use the vote.
Yeah.
You know, it was hard earned to get the vote, and it should be used rightly. And the politicians, when they're elected, should know why they're being elected.
So at the end of the election, when everybody's in, you will have a situation in which you will be able to tick the box against each one of the councillors of Newry and Moore, councillors of Down, for the bridge or against the bridge.
Yeah.
And you should be checking with the candidates who are coming from Down as well, shouldn't you?
We should be,
And because when they become the new council, you will want each and every one of those to use their influence to bring the thing forward, you know.
And you see, the bridge in one way got bogged down in the politics of these islands.
Party politics
of
of
these islands. And the people on the ground, we had all shades for this, you know, and that's why it's a people's bridge. You know, it couldn't be, say, oh, the Nationals wanted and the Unionists didn't want it and this and that. We're all there because we're all businessmen. We know that we need this to survive. We know that tourism is on its way up, that the East Coast and one point at the start of the last century was the #1 tourist spot in the whole of the island, and we want to get back to that.
So you have the committee formed.
Yeah.
Are there politicians on the committee?
No, there's not. We've decided. We will have a wider committee
Yeah.
that will involve all our MLAs, the
Yeah.
same as what
But
it
the
was.
core committee is non-political.
Is non-political. Well, and we did a good job the last time of working with all the parties.
You did.
And that's the way forward. It would be pointless having people from parties on their committees. So why should we meet them to lobby them?
Yeah,
so we
absolutely,
have to separate ourselves, and the lobbying is still going on.
I'm just wondering, I sense you were also let down by Kenny in the Republic,
Oh, big time, yeah, big time.
because he did not put his money where his big mouth was, because he was telling you all along, it'll be all right, I'm with you, I'm this, that, and the other. But when push came to shove, he didn't do it. He knew he couldn't do it, because he should have told you that at the beginning.
Well, it's not that he couldn't do it. He should have.
It wouldn't have been, probably wouldn't have been the most politically astute thing in the world for him to have done. To have given money to the bridge at Narrow Water while he's taken money out of the special needs chest in Galway.
Well,
he wouldn't have got away with it. But all I'm saying is he should have told you that.
Yeah,
to
but
begin with.
government doesn't work like that. But the point is that it was only a small amount of money, and by the Irish government not doing it, it let our boys in Stormont off the hook.
Yeah.
What the Narrow Water Bridge ended up was excuses, and there was more Pontius Pilate
Yeah. Aye, washing hands.
in that
Yeah.
line than anything.
It's the time of year for the Pontius Pilates, all right. We're into that Holy Week time. Take him away, crucify the bridge, get rid of it. But I'm just thinking there of that, of the calculations at the end of the day. How much shy of the amount you needed, taking consideration of the pledges that were made, how shy were you of what you needed?
Well, we would have had it all. It wasn't the pledge's fault. It was pulling money down on the table.
Yeah.
It was the actual pulling money down. We've been told by...
Well, you were promised, Newry and Mourne said yes to it. They were
Yes.
going to give you money.
Yeah.
Down was going to give you money.
Yes.
Right? So can I
Louth
take it...
was given
Louth.
money.
Can I take it that those three elements
Were the only elements
were
on the
copper
table.
fastened?
Yeah.
They were safe.
Yeah.
Now, who promised and didn't give?
The Irish government. And
Irish
Stormont.
government. Who else? And Stormont.
And Stormont.
Those two. Now, with the pledges,
And
plus
there
the
was-
European money, how much would Ireland and Stormont have had to put up?
Well, they were saying that it was probably around about 3 to 4 million each.
Your point is made
Chicken feet.
in terms of the
Yeah.
thing that was going on. Yeah, yeah.
So you have to say that it wasn't money was the issue that took it down. It was will. And it was will by these... what I would like to know is the 17 million from Europe has gone on a different project.
Yes.
And apparently it has gone on the Dublin-Belfast
That's right.
railway
That is true.
line.
That is true.
I wanted to see how that money was spent, because basically what that money was doing, or what we heard from the department, was it was to buy new rolling stock.
That's right.
Which was only halfway through its lifespan. So, and that rolling stock actually took jobs out of Northern Ireland.
Yeah. That's
So
right, Jeremy.
if we have an executive fighting for jobs in Northern Ireland, why did they knowingly export jobs? You know, all that is where people want answers.
But I think as you go forward now, Jim Boylan, I think that's the past is a foreign land, and I honestly believe that the hope you have of getting the bridge now must leave the past in the past. You must not look back. You don't look back. You go forward, and maybe the man you should be sitting down with now, or someone with the good heart of the bridge there, someone who would be a kind of fair broker, an honest broker, going in to sit with the First Minister, going in to sit with Danny Kennedy and saying, right, let's talk about this and find out where we went wrong. Why? And let's get rid of your fears. Let's talk it through. Because there's the temptation to go down the road of just talking to people who are going to say yes anyway. But you need to talk to the people who are going to say no.
Yeah, well, that's the point. But what we're trying to do is take the positives out of it. The positives are that it's a shovel-ready project.
It is.
It is sitting there ready to go, and all we need now is the money. We need to go back to Europe, which we are, to see if we can get money back through another scheme. We need to contact these ministers. And the crucial thing is, after it went down, we had the Taoiseach, the Taoiseach, the First Minister, Deputy First Minister, and the Finance Minister in the North saying this is a good project.
Yeah, they did. They came to you down there and spoke about it.
They've all said this is a good project and should happen. Well, the ball isn't in our court.
Yeah.
It's in their court. They have said it's a good project. How are they going to make it happen? And our job is to keep asking that question at the highest level.
Yeah. It's to your advantage that the new council is coming on stream, because the bridge isn't just for Warren Point and Restrever and Kilkeel. The bridge will take people straight into the heart of North Down as well, of Down.
The bridge is an all-island project.
Yeah.
And what heartened us was that there was people from Derry to Kerry talking about it. We were inundated with people from Dublin and Belfast. You go and you look at the Irish News, people that have no connection with this area question the wisdom of why the bridge didn't happen. You know, so it's more, this is a project that is bigger than Warren Point, bigger than South Down. And that's why this project needs to happen.
Timescale?
Well, never say never, and you wouldn't believe I was 8 years on the last one, so. But
no, but that's 8 years time served.
Yeah, but
so you might only have a couple of years to do now.
Yeah, but the point is we're not giving up.
Yeah.
There's new European funding coming, but as you say, we need to change the mindsets of people who are living in the past to look to the future. The bridge is future, the bridge is hope, the bridge is needed.
You can write my speeches any day. Well done.
So,
thank you. God bless you. Music's art.